Maggie Jane, and today we have a special guest, my beautiful and lovely friend, Sophia Starace.
Hello,
Is that how you say your name?
Starace or Starace.
Starace.
Is the Italian.
We are in Italy.
This
This is the girl I followed to Italy.
Yes.
If you watched the last episodes, this is Sophia.
Hey!
You finally get to meet her.
That's me. And I'm here in Italy with Maggie.
Yeah.
So glad you're here with me.
Thank you. I'm glad you brought me here, honestly.
I dragged you out here.
No. I came willingly.
You wanted to.
She said you want to go to Italy? I was like, yeah. Here we are.
Exactly. Cheers. Salute.
Salute. Love some red wine. If you couldn't tell, this is the vibe of today's episode.
Yes.
Drinking wine, casual conversation.
Feeling fine.
Looking fine.
Yeah.
But today we're going to be talking about turning your pain into power, turning your experiences into a beautiful life, and just getting what you want. Because this girl's really fucking good at that.
We'll see about that.
I mean, you're here.
True. Very true.
You have grown so much. I met you in March.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't even in March. That's when I met Elijah. I met you in August.
Yeah, so not too long ago.
No.
Which is crazy because we've known each other for, I feel like, years.
That's what it feels like. And then we're in Italy together.
And now we're here.
The only person I'd followed to Italy.
Well, I'm glad.
I love it. We got our hot tea here. Drinking some black tea.
Yeah. We got all the liquids on deck.
And some vino. We got water underneath the table.
Yeah, we
in case we need it. If we drink a little too much of that.
Exactly. Which we might.
But I'm really excited for today's episode and today's topic because that is something that I've genuinely lived by. But for me, the way that I always phrased it was you can either take your experiences and use them as an excuse to stay that way, or you can use them as an excuse to get better. So that's something that I realized when I was 16 years old. Shout out to my sister for that one. Because I was just really examining my life and her life and just our family and just the situations. And I was like, damn, how can I make this better and not use it as an excuse to stay in this situation?
I definitely think excuses could be transformed into motivation. Because if you think about it from a different perspective, excuses could be avoided in all costs, you know?
Yeah. And I feel like you're really good at just turning things into motivation. Because some of the things you've done, I'm like, damn, the 12-hour walk.
Yeah,
that was absolutely insane. But that's so good. Tell the people, what is the 12-hour walk? What did you do?
Okay, so last year, around March, actually, I was reading a book by Colin O'Brady called The 12-Hour Walk. And basically, he created this idea from the times that he was struggling in COVID. And he was having a hard time finding himself, and so he just decided to go outside and get rid of all of his distractions and walk for 12 hours straight from sunrise to sunset. And then he wrote a book about it, and he does all these crazy adventures and pushes himself in so many different physical ways that he needed to feel that again. And so going on this 12-hour walk and making it a challenge that is easily accessible for everyday people not only helped him, but it created a movement. So I read his book because I was also kind of struggling, and it motivated me a lot to go out and do the 12-hour walk. So from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., I walked on the canal in Arizona with no phone, no music, no distractions. And I walked 35 miles, like 71,000 steps. And by the end of it, like halfway through, 6 hours through, my feet were bleeding because I was wearing the wrong shoes. And so at the 6 hour mark, I took off my shoes and I was walking barefoot for 6 hours. But it was mostly just about pushing myself to a level that I didn't think I could, because one of the other main reasons why I did it is I hated being alone. I hated not having a distraction, especially coming from, COVID, where you needed to be stimulated by a bunch of different things because you felt like the world around us was falling apart, which it was. And so, like, in that moment, I just thought the best way to kind of do the opposite effect and, like, is to be alone in your thoughts for 12 hours and find that independence within myself and realize that I could definitely do that. So once I did it, and it was a struggle, like,
I believe it.
I didn't realize how hard it would be. It was very humbling, and the things I got from it at the end of the day were more so just like understanding my own mind and having time to reflect intentionally, but also observe the world. And every time I saw something beautiful, I wanted to take my phone out and take a picture, but I was like, okay, I can't do that. Let me actually enjoy this moment and experience it. So the 12-hour walk showed me a lot of things. More than anything, it showed me that I could do anything that I set my mind to, even if it's
bloody feet.
Yeah, bloody feet. My legs were numb. Like, I didn't even know. I was getting delusional by the end of it because I was like, what do I even think about? Like, I thought about all my thoughts. It's been 12 hours. I need to talk to someone. I was talking to the birds.
Yeah.
It was a state of delusion, but I fucking did it. And so,
I think you just found peace. Like, I don't even find that delusional. Like, like you said, you went through all of your thoughts and you just finally got to that state of, okay, my thoughts aren't controlling my mind.
Yeah.
You were just fully present. Like, I be talking to the birds. I be talking to the trees. I hug trees. Like, it's a beautiful thing. So I'm really happy that you experienced all that and learned all of that. How would you think that reflected into your life after that?
Well, something about me is I'm very competitive. So, like, I like challenges because I like to see the outcome of it and analyze that and see how that, like, positively affects my life. So, coming out of the 12-hour walk and achieving it, it showed me, like, that I could take the time to reflect without the societal pressures of having deadlines, in my work, in my life, in my social life, my relationship life, and that I only have myself at the end of the day. And so the things I choose to reflect on are the things I'm going to input into the future. And basically, what I'm trying to say is you determine your own life and your own path. And yeah.
Fully.
I
love that.
But it's hard.
It is.
And that's the scariest part.
Yeah.
Because no one wants to be uncomfortable. And that's the part that I almost, that competitive side tunes in, because I'm like, I almost like the feeling of being in discomfort and being in pain, because I know only good can come from it. Because I choose to only take good from the pain that I just felt.
Yeah.
So
it's a very powerful perspective, because I feel like a lot of people are going through discomfort and they're going through pain all of the time, but they're not at that perspective. And they are just like, because I know I used to be in this mindset of, why is this happening to me? Why would life do this to me? Why me? Why this again? So it's really just that perspective shift in that. So that's really beautiful.
But that's when the excuses come up.
Yeah.
Because it's like, as soon as you question why me, it becomes an excuse. And instead of putting the blame on yourself and taking action with it, you could put the blame on the excuse and use that as a comfort blanket to continue to live the life that you're living, you know? Taking that uncomfortable blanket off and dealing with it straight on is going to lead you to be able to throw that fucking blanket away and move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Because you don't need that.
Yeah.
You don't need those excuses. You can just put action towards it in that moment.
No, that's so real, and that's what's got me to like everything that I've done is just really diving into that. Like, I know that I'm capable. I don't care what happens. I don't care what's thrown in my face. Like, I'm going to live my best life regardless. I'm going to be the person that I want to be, and I'm going to make shit happen.
Yeah, I know you will.
And I know you will.
And that's why it's so important to surround yourself with people that are doing things you want to do, and not doing things that you did in the past, because it'll only make you a better version of yourself.
Yeah.
And you're a result of the 5 closest people in your life.
Yeah.
So if the 5 closest people in your life are doing things that you want to do and living a positive, happy, healthy lifestyle, you're destined to do the same. So that's why we in this together.
I'll never forget when I met you. Like, just your outfit, your energy. We met at an Arizona Fashion Week event. It was just like, I was so drawn to you. I was like, I love this girl, and I don't even know her name.
Yeah.
And now here we are.
Now we're in Italy. Holy shit.
I love it, because like our friendship really has just like skyrocketed, and I can't even imagine where it's going to go. But I know that I'm very, very excited for it, because we're both on very powerful paths. Like, you want to go work in Costa Rica, and I want to just keep exploring and just, I don't even know, just diving into whatever that path looks like for me. And it's great. So I love that our friendship, we were brought together for a reason.
Oh, of course.
For sure.
100%.
Anyone, instant connection.
Yeah, I agree. I think that anyone that sticks around in your life was brought into your life for a reason. Sometimes it's good.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's bad, but then the bad brings good. So
it's always a lesson in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Always. It's a beautiful, beautiful life. But since we are in Italy, like, I know we were just having a conversation earlier, but what do you think you have really learned about yourself? Like, what has changed within your mindset and within your life? Because you were here since January 1st to study abroad, and I know before you came, you were like, you seemed very distracted.
Yes, I
very,
was.
very distracted. I was like, Sophia, breathe.
I was all over the place. Like, I can't even, I have to admit that. But I think that before I came here, I was disheveled and confused and wanting to know exactly what was going to happen, because I wanted control over like what was going to happen, because I like to be organized. But I realized very quickly on the first day of the year, moving to a new country alone, speaking a new language, that I can't be in control.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot be in control. I have to trust that things are going to work out, and I have to have confidence in myself. And I have to be an individual. And I can't rely on other people. Anything that I create for myself is going to be because I put the effort into creating that, not necessarily because it was given to me or anything like that. So I think since I've been here, I've just learned mostly that you just have to take risks, and all of those risks will lead you to being a stronger person at the end of the day. And that strength will build confidence in you getting and doing what you want in life. So for me, I realize now that if I can move out here 21 years old alone and 22, now I'm 22. I just turned 22. Holy crap, I'm old.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. No. But then I can move to another country alone and figure out my way. Because I did it here, I could do it again.
Yeah.
And anywhere I go, I can make it happen. Because I have to. And this was something I was talking about this recently, and it's something that means a lot to me, is when you were younger, for me, my mom would tell me all the time, everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to work out. But since I've been an adult and since the realistic views on the world has come about and I understand them, everything has to be okay. And there was a transition in my life where my mom went from telling me everything's going to be okay to everything has to be okay. Everything has to work out. Because if it doesn't, I don't have my mom and dad helping me. I'm an independent person.
Yeah.
I have to make things work. And to make things work, you have to sacrifice. You have to go through discomfort. You have to be not okay to be okay.
Yeah.
And I think being out here, that's one of the things I realized. You know? What I'm saying, girl?
Yeah, I definitely do. I definitely do. That's something that I am still learning and working towards. Like I have been so independent, but there's still things in my life that aren't fully supporting that side of myself, and that's something that I am working through, because there are so many sides to the journey and it looks different for everybody.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I definitely feel that a lot.
What have you learned from being here in Italy about yourself?
So much, really, that along with what you were saying, just that I am capable of absolutely anything, because this is my first time out of the country, so that was really really scary for me. And I didn't come alone, I came with my boyfriend, so that was there was a lot of comfort in that, and just knowing like, okay, I am putting myself out there as an individual, but I also have somebody with me.
Yeah.
So that has been, for my first experience, I feel like that provided a lot of comfort, and that's something that I wanted, but now I'm ready to like, okay, I know I can go do this on my own now. And not in like a way of just but in a way of just like, I put myself in this environment and I can fully immerse myself in just any way, and I've learned a lot about myself, of just being able to just challenge myself more and immerse myself in a whole new culture. And one thing that I have been struggling with since I've been out here is just like kind of finding that belonging, because like I haven't been able to really communicate with anyone. I feel like you or Elijah or any of your friends out here, so that has been pretty challenging, but just finding a lot of lessons in that, and diving deep into myself. Like my belonging does not come from outside, it comes from within. Inside. So that's something that I have learned, is just I determine my belonging.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You definitely do. You have all the power.
Yeah.
And that comes with a lot of fear.
Yeah.
Which is something I was thinking about recently. Like, anytime I'm fearful of something, it's just a wall in the way of getting to something I want. And then I think about the concept of fear, and how I have control over everything in my life. I could just pick up that concept and that emotion and just put it to the side and then go to what I want. And thinking about that from like a third non-biased perspective, it really shows me that I really do have a lot of control over myself, because when I had thought about that before, I still would think about the idea of fear, and that would hold me back in a lot of ways. And I'm still working on that, obviously, because the world is terrifying. But like thinking about that from a different perspective, or thinking about that in a way that I would tell someone I love, I would just take away that whole concept of fear and encourage you or I to do what's at the other side of that wall, which is way easier said than done.
Yeah.
But it's something that if you can wrap your head around it and put action towards it, then it's makes life more exciting, I guess.
Yeah.
Makes you do more things that you set your mind to. And then if something bad happens, you just grow from that instead of fall back into this hole.
Yeah. Turning that into an excuse to do better.
Yeah, excuses. Now that you bring that up, I hate excuses. Excuses are bullshit.
They really are.
No, like truly. Anyone that gives an excuse is not finding something within them. They need to dig deeper within themselves.
Yeah.
They need to have. I make excuses still. I still make excuses, but I'm allowed to think that they're bullshit because, you know, whenever I make an excuse, I catch myself thinking, well, I'm making this excuse because I'm not confident in this part of my life. Sorry. I'm not confident in this part of my life. That's what's bringing this excuse.
Yeah.
So then I go back to this idea and I look under like the tip of the iceberg and I see that there's a lot of things that I need to fix because that's what brought that excuse.
Yeah. I wouldn't even say that you need to fix them, more of just bringing that awareness to them and just giving it love.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of...
Yeah.
Oh, no. A lot of, like, the fears or the things that we're not confident in, there's just a lack of love around it.
Yeah.
So just accepting those parts of yourselves. There's nothing about you that needs fixed, or anybody. Like, we don't... Because that's one mindset shift that I gained a few years ago, is like, I'm not broken. There's nothing wrong with me.
No, you're wonderful.
There's nothing I need to fix. It's more of just accepting who I am, accepting the situation for what it is, and looking outside of that and looking deeper into that. Like you said, looking beyond the tip of the iceberg. There's a whole ocean.
There is.
There's a whole ocean. There's a whole block of ice under there.
And it's a lot bigger than the top of the iceberg.
Yeah. So just accepting that and not judging yourself for any of it, and just loving it. Because that's one way I've learned to just really get through anything, is just loving it. It just needs some love.
I agree. And that's something I definitely could work on. So, like, I'm super hard on myself, which brings me to a lot of results.
Yeah.
But sometimes not in the healthiest way.
Yeah.
So feeding love into my decisions and myself is something I'm still working on.
Yeah.
But I've gotten better at.
Yeah, I've noticed it a lot too.
Why?
You say why?
Yeah.
I mean, I've just, since you've gone out here, because you've put yourself in this situation, and you're just, like you said, like you have no other choice but to make things work. And I think before you were very hard on yourself, but since you've been out here, you've been able to just really slow down and just look at your life and look at yourself, because you completely got away from everything you've ever known.
Yeah.
So I know you found a lot of love for yourself in that, because you're doing it.
For real.
You're doing it.
And
that's
that's
beautiful to see.
Thanks, girl.
Of course.
But something I wanted for myself this year more than anything is balance. And when you talked about slowing down, that's exactly the concept that I was terrified of, but knew I needed to do to create that balance. So I do think that that is really important.
What does that balance look like for you?
Well, last year, I overworked myself in every way. Like, I never would give myself a moment of rest. And if I was resting, I was thinking about the things I need to do the moment I am done resting.
Yeah.
So, and that led me to achieving a shit ton of things.
There's always two sides of it.
Yeah. But it just also, like, crumbled a lot of inner work that I had worked hard on at some point. So creating that balance would be just coming out here and being okay with the idea of not constantly focusing on what I'm not doing, what I have to be doing, or what I should have done, and being present, intentional, and happy.
Yeah.
So focusing on those things will allow me to be like rejuvenated for the idea of working super hard.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's been a tough balance, but I feel like I've gotten closer than I had before.
Yeah.
So
I feel like whenever you give yourself that space of, okay, I am truly allowing myself to rest and just be present and just loving yourself, at the end of the day, that genuinely creates more time and more energy for you to work hard and for you to achieve the things that you want. Because I know, like, I've seen with a lot of people, and a lot of people live this way. If you're just grind, no, I don't have time to rest, like, that burnout's coming.
it's coming.
And it's going to last a lot longer than if you were to be like, I deserve this rest. I'm going to be present. I'm going to enjoy this day. I'll get back to it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because you need to take that time. Like, we're not fucking robots.
Yeah. Not yet.
Oh, goodness.
I'm sorry.
That's terrifying.
I'm sorry.
That's what's scary in the world. Fucking AI.
Yeah, I can't even get into that.
I don't want to.
I don't want to either. Because I'll go on a whole tangent.
Anyways.
Moving on from that shit.
Yeah, let's take a little drink for that.
Are they gonna be able to hear like every drink we do?
Probably.
Like the gulp.
The gulp. Maybe. Let us know if you hear the gulps.
Or not. Don't let me know. I don't want to know.
Just gulp a little louder.
I'll like gulp in the microphone. Gulp, gulp, gulp.
People like the ASMR. I think that's some crazy shit.
ASMR?
Very off topic, but like the people who just sit there and
honestly, like I've never got into it or like even explored that route of the world. But I'd be interested to see it. I'm not opposed for sure. Like
I've watched like very few episodes, but people will literally just set up their mics so close to them and then just like open things or tap on the mic or just speak really softly.
That's crazy. Cool.
It is. No, it's so interesting because like that just goes to show you can literally do anything you want with your life. You can talk quietly and make noises into a mic and make a lot of money. I would do
that to make a lot of money.
Because like YouTube pays a lot if you're getting those views.
True beans.
Yeah.
True beans.
But to bring it back, like you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Exactly. Even if that is this. And there's so many crazy jobs that go on. Everything that goes on in the world revolves around having some sort of job to make it happen. Mm-hmm. So that's something that... So currently I'm writing a book. And
yeah, you are.
The idea and the reason why I'm writing a book is because I hate reading and writing. And
this girl.
I
love that though.
In my childhood, I was never really good at it. And that's something that took a lot of time and confidence to even get to the point to like say it loud.
Yeah.
You know, I always wanted to hide that, but like I don't care. That was in the past. And now I'm doing things like this to just completely kind of override that feeling and write a book. And so I'm like at 160 pages or so,
which is amazing.
Which is crazy because
it's incredible.
But thank you. But the reason why I say that is because currently I'm in college, and I never wanted to go to college. Recently, I didn't want to go to college, and it's something that my parents really insisted on for good reasons.
Yeah.
In society, parents usually want their children to go to college and be successful and find a job and get married and all these like building block things that I think I could still obtain without going to college and spending a bunch of money on a degree.
Yeah.
Having a degree and then putting it in your resume and then submitting it to someone for them to look at millions of papers and see if they pick you. Like, I kind of think that whole concept is bullshit because I think that you could work hard for opportunities like that by connecting with people, networking, and some of the best opportunities that you get are through connections that you make because they meet you face to face. They don't meet you through your resume.
Yeah.
They don't meet you because you graduated at ASU, especially ASU, and that whole idea inspired me to write my book on why I don't think it's necessary to have a college diploma to be successful. Not for everyone. I think that teachers and medical and engineering, they should go to school.
Yeah.
And lawyers, but entrepreneurs, business people, you don't have to go to school and spend all that money, spend all that time to use the resources that are already out there for you. You're just not looking hard enough to find, and you're not connecting with the people you need to.
Yeah.
Which is an excuse. But which is also controversial and kind of intense because as a young person,
love that here.
But yeah, true. But it's kind of controversial because there is some time needed in young adults' lives from high school to college, that 4-year period where people are figuring out themselves and they need the structure of college, which I completely understand.
Yeah.
But I also think that there's so much more opportunity, if not the same, I guess, in creating those opportunities from yourself and connecting with people and finding that research.
Yeah. I mean, I could not. I went one semester, and like some people will find that so insane because I had a really, really good scholarship to go to Penn State, and I dropped out after a semester.
That's great.
I was like, I cannot.
That's good.
I cannot because I did really good in school.
Yeah.
Like I had nearly straight A's all throughout high school, regardless of everything going on in my life. And I was just like, when I got to college, I realized that I was just using it as an escape. I didn't actually want to go to college anymore.
Yeah.
Because like that's just a goal that I have for myself. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to this big university. I wanted to go for criminal psychology. And before I even got out of gen ed, I was like, I cannot do this.
Fair. That's so fair.
Because like I had with my life and just like my experiences, like I was experiencing so much life, like college seemed pointless. I'm already experiencing more life than most of these college kids. Like I feel like I'm just wasting my time going to classes, doing homework. Like those professors did not give a shit. I went to my classes for like 3 weeks out of that semester, and not a single one was like, are you good? Why aren't you in class? Are you going to do your work? No one gave a fuck. So I'm like, all right, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that a lot of the teachers in my college life that are teaching me about business don't even have their own business.
Exactly.
So I'm just like, what you teaching me this shit about? You don't even know how to run your own business.
And that's why I fully believe that, I mean, college, like you were saying, like college is amazing for specific jobs and for specific people. Like, even if you do want to go into business and be an entrepreneur, like,
Yeah.
college is still beneficial because it is handing you resources. It's handing you like-minded individuals.
Yeah, true.
So, like, that is still very beneficial if you have that right mindset. But
Yeah.
what I noticed when I went to college is most people are not going in with that mindset. They're
Exactly.
like, oh, I'm partying. It's party time. I'm away from the parents. I'm living on my own now. And then it's just, damn.
Water now.
And it's just like, college is really good, but at that age and being put into that environment, it doesn't have the right intentions unless you personally have those intentions, I feel like.
I agree.
Like, they push everyone into college, but the main things people talk about in college is partying or doing drugs and just like all this shit. And then most people don't get a job after they go to college.
And that's the perspective that a lot of people have.
Yeah.
But a lot of people in college are actually on a path that I completely like agree that going to college for some young adults is extremely beneficial because they don't have the confidence to network in a social setting that they like put their foot out for first.
Yeah.
And also I feel as though the people that are talking about partying and, you know, all that stuff at this age are using college as a 4-year like timeout to live their life, and then after they get their college diploma they're going to be like, oh shit, what do I do with my life now?
Yeah.
Like in one of my English classes last year, she came to the front of the class and she asked everyone, she was like, what are you guys going to do with your diploma? What are you going to do after you graduate? And then someone was like, oh, I'm going to get a job. She was like, how are you going to get a job? And they were like, I'm going to give them my resume and show them that I graduated college. And she was like, how does that make you different from the millions of people that are graduating? Like, you have to, they're going to see that you and billions of other people also graduated college.
Yeah.
Or millions, maybe billions. I don't know. But that's not making you different. Making you different is going and creating connections, showing your individuality, showing the skills that you created on your own without college.
Yeah.
That's putting you in an arena of life that is different from all the graduating class that you're with. So the concept is kind of interesting, and I think it was hilarious that a bunch of juniors had not even thought about what they were going to do after graduating, which is a year from now.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
that's crazy.
I mean, if you guys are planning to start your life the day you graduate, you're going to be in for a very humbling surprise that you should have started a while ago, or at least put intention towards like figuring out what you want to do. That 4-year period is not just a check in, check out kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's life.
Yeah.
And people that go into college with the intention of also living life and seeking out those opportunities and friendships are going for the right reasons. For me personally, I don't think it's necessary. And my parents that maybe watch this, I don't know, are not going to agree with this because it is good to have a degree to some degree.
Yeah.
And the name of my book is going to be called To Degree or Disagree, or To Agree or Disagree.
Okay. I like that.
And, but since writing it, I've actually learned that it's not only about educating yourself through school, but educating yourself and your mind and your emotional intelligence and your mindset. And it's become something of just researching how to educate your brain instead of educating yourself with other things.
Yeah.
That was kind of said really silly, but...
No, it wasn't.
I don't know.
It's like, it's so interesting because I feel like there's 3 ways to like go about like the whole college idea. Like a lot of people go in and do what you were saying, where they just go in, they experience college and they don't think about anything. And then other people go in they experience college, but they also create their own experiences, and that's what makes them stand out. And they're like, oh yes, I'm in college, but I'm also doing this, this, and this, and I'm networking, I'm creating my business right now. Yeah. That way, when I'm done with college, I have that degree. I have already started a business that's been going for 4 years. Plus, I have the degree now, which is what you're doing, and that's beautiful. I was just like, no, fuck school. I'm just going to go straight into the business and see what happens. And it's beautiful. And that's like, that really goes to show, like, everyone's journey is different. And we're both on very similar paths, even though I dropped out and you're still in college. Yeah. We're here together. So, again, like, not judging yourself or your situation and just accepting, like, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is the path I'm on. And just finding the beauty in it and finding the power of it, figuring out how to turn any excuses that you have into where you want to go.
Exactly. But also having that idea that if you are in a situation that you don't necessarily want to be, like for me, that was being in college, that you could also like handle and manage so many more things that you think you're capable of. Mm-hmm. And I think that I learned that while doing 75 hard. Because, and I'm sorry, I have a cold, so that's why I keep coughing. You're alright. But since doing, like, I completed 75 hard, which was super difficult, and it taught me that you can put so many things on your plate and still be able to achieve them because you want to / need to. Mm-hmm. I mean, there was multiple days in a row in a week where I was going to bed at 2 a.m. to wake up at 7, do my first workout, and I broke my arm the first day of 75 hard, and I still completed it.
You did, didn't you? How'd you break your arm?
I was in a volleyball game, and I broke that shit. And I still went. Because I was like, great, this is not something that's going to hold me back. Like, it's almost like a sign from the universe that I'm putting something on my plate that's difficult. Great. Let me make it more difficult. And at the end of it, you're going to get through it. Yeah. But you're also going to prove to yourself that something you thought was hard, that turned into something that was more difficult, you still can achieve. You know, having a broken arm the first day made the challenge a lot harder because I can only do so many exercises 2 times a day. Yeah. But yeah, like I was saying, there was nights that I was not sleeping at all, and that's where I go back to the beginning point that I didn't have a balance at all. Yes, I showed myself that I could do it because I wanted to and I needed to, but I didn't have a balance, and I don't think that was healthy. So maybe that's considered something bad that I learned from, but it goes back to my importance on having a balance.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it was bad because that's what brought you to this point. I feel like if you didn't go through that, if you didn't push yourself through that, you wouldn't be so balanced. Yeah.
I mean, I'm still like a teeter-totter.
I think everybody is, honestly.
True.
That's the beauty of finding that balance, is some days it's gonna be up here, and then it's gonna be up here, and then it's gonna be here. Like, it's just knowing that you can always bring it back to that balance. I feel like that's where, like, the true balance is, like, is knowing that sometimes one side might get a little heavier, but you're capable of bringing it back.
True.
I feel like that's the balance, because some people, it gets heavier, and then they're like, oh, fuck, and then they just keep letting it get heavier and heavier, and then they're like, well, what do I do now?
Dang,
you bring it back to the balance.
I completely agree. That is the point I definitely got from that.
Because, like, me personally, I went 3 days, and I was like, fuck this shit.
It's brutal.
It is. So, like, that's one way you really, really inspire me, is, like, the way you challenge yourself. Because I'm like, damn, I'm like, this girl's doing it, why can't I?
And that's something I strive for, like, because I said I'm so hard on myself, if I'm not going to do it for myself, my main focus is to do it to inspire other people.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, that's what I want to do. Everyone that I'm around, I want to show them love, support, motivation to make them feel like they're able to do anything. Because in a way, that gives me confidence in myself and it gives me purpose. And if I want something, I need it to be driven from a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that inspiring others and showing love, support, and motivation, it can only impact the world in a positive way. Why wouldn't you want to live that way?
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you? I don't want to live a sad life.
Yeah.
We're only 20 in our 20s one time.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Just kidding. All the past lives.
I'm just kidding.
But for me, I'm honestly just not realizing this, but my balance that I've been finding is I was so hard into that discipline and just trying to get myself out of situations and trying to improve things. I just went so hard into that. And then I fell into the self-love, and I feel like I really just like fell into the love so much where it started to become an excuse of like, you know what, that's okay. You did good, Maggie. You did good. Yeah. But now I'm trying to find that discipline and the love at the same time. That's the balance I'm working on finding right now. And it is, some days it's down here, some days it's here, and then other days it's here. So
I agree.
That's my balance, is finding the discipline while also still loving myself unconditionally and knowing that pushing myself and challenging myself is not from a place of not loving myself. That's coming from even more love. Like, I'm gonna love myself through this, even though it may suck and it may be really hard right now, but just finding the love in that challenge.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's about respecting the journey.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to respect that journey, because if you're only looking for the result, all the things in the meantime, you're going to resent in the end.
Yeah.
As soon as that check mark comes and you achieve that goal, you're never going to continue those habits because you never wanted to do them to begin with.
Yeah.
So
that's so real.
You know, that was fire. I'm not even going to lie to you. That was fire. But yeah, I definitely, and that's part of the reason why when I was younger, I hated working out. I hated doing it because I had to for volleyball. And then once I
did track and basketball.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. And then once I started doing it on my own and I found a passion and love for the process of working out and the result, it became a double whammy.
Yeah.
That shit is locked into my routine now.
Yeah.
It's something that brings me comfort. It's like a source of meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also what I'm starting to find with like doing these different challenges in my life, is when I'm in discomfort, I like it in a weird way because
me too.
Because I know that it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
And I know that respecting the whole journey and the result is like gonna bring me to where I want to be in life.
Yeah.
And if you don't just if you don't just do that, like if you don't and you just focus on the end, like, there's no point of even doing it. Like, yeah, you achieved it, but did you really achieve it if you were just skipping through in your mind?
Yeah.
You know?
Just like, all right, I gotta do this just because I gotta do this, not because I gotta do this because it's making me a better person.
Yeah.
I gotta do this because it's getting me to this result. It's helping me build this new habit. So just, that's the love of it. And I forgot what I was gonna say.
Well, I have a question. Perfect timing.
Cool.
I was gonna say, like, what's something that you like achieved in your life that was a challenge in itself, that you found a result in, but also like an excitement for the process?
This podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Cause like one thing you said earlier is that you had a big fear of like reading and writing.
Yeah.
For me growing up, I struggled with reading, writing, and speaking.
So
like speaking my mind, that's something that I always struggled with. And I was always that friend that was just cool with everything. Like, oh, you want this? Cool. Oh, you want to treat me like that? Cool.
Interesting.
And I was just there. And I didn't I never really had enemies, but I never really had super close friends either.
Yeah.
I feel like.
That's really interesting.
So just being around James, and I've talked about this on here before, but being around James, he really inspired me to, because me and James, he's like the guy version of me with how we grew up. And it's really, really interesting. And so just meeting him and seeing him just out here speaking and empowering so many people, I've always had that energy within me, but never the confidence to do it. Even being in school, I'm like, I know the answers. I always knew the fucking answers, but I wouldn't always raise my hand.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to be that person that is always answering. Because some days I got to a point where I'm like, I was that kid.
That's fair. That's good.
I was that kid. And I just I would judge myself for that. Because I'm like, damn. People are like, damn, why is she so fucking smart? Why you keep answering? Give somebody else a chance. I'm like, well, it's not my fault you don't know.
Damn. Well, I was on the other side, not even contemplating the question because I didn't have the confidence to know if I can get it right or not.
See, I would always feel so much anxiety. And I notice these feelings sometimes with certain things that I do, but this energy would just come up whenever I knew somebody was gonna call on me, or if it was my turn to read. I'm like, I know I'm about to kill this shit.
Whoa, I was the opposite. I was like, do not call on me.
Okay, around reading, maybe not. There was a lot of fear in that. But around knowing the answer, I'm like, please call on me. I'm not gonna raise my hand, but call on me.
That's cool.
Because I just always knew. And school came really easy to me. So I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah.
But this podcast really challenged me because I think I met you before I started this.
Yeah.
And you told me you were writing your book, and then Elijah's writing his book, and so the people I was surrounded with were doing all the things to challenge me and to push me in the way that I wanted to go. So I'm like, okay. And James, the first ever speaking thing I did was I spoke with James at a 7th grade class.
That's cool.
At a middle school. It was fucking terrifying.
Terrifying?
Terrifying. I'm like, these little kids are about to judge me. And that's how I always thought, because in college, I had to do, anytime we do speech class, I was so terrified.
Yeah.
Of just speaking my mind. Because also coming from that space of, I know a lot and I'm really confident in it, but not confident enough to say it because I know a lot of people don't have the same perspective as I do. So just that fear of judgment really came in. So starting this podcast was like, fuck.
I mean, it's extremely humbling because you're putting yourself into this platform where anyone can have a say on, you and your life, things that you're getting vulnerable about. So you should be so proud of yourself because... Yeah, fuck you should be. Because, not a lot of people could do that. That's part of the reason why I have hesitations towards writing my book, starting a podcast, even presenting an idea aloud to a group is scary.
Yeah.
Because it opens up that room of judgment, which... When you were talking, I was like, my reaction was like, who gives a frick about what these 7th graders think?
I know.
Who gives a shit? But if I was in that spot, I'd be like, oh no, what are they going to think about me? All these things.
And I went back again. So we spoke to 2 classes. And then I think maybe a month or 2 later, he was just like, do you want to go teach them about modeling? So I went and did it by myself.
Wow.
I put together a whole presentation. And it was the same 2 classes, so they remembered me. Yeah. And it was crazy because a lot of them were asking for my autograph.
Oh,
it was so
that's cute.
So that's how I ended it. I went in with all this fear. I'm like, oh, they're gonna judge me. And they're like, can we have your autograph? And I'm like, oh yeah. Just on some random pieces of paper. But
Yeah.
the first class.
That's so cute, actually.
Right?
Wow.
I love little kids. I used to.
Me too.
In high school, I went and did like the child development class, so I would work with second graders. But that's also when I was skipping a lot of school, so I got kicked out of the class.
Gosh.
They're like, if you're not gonna show up, you can't go to these kids. I was like, that's fair.
You were literally setting a bad example.
I always went to school on the days that I had to go there.
Oh, okay, perfect. Then you're good.
But then I wouldn't show up for like the rest of the week. They're like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But
that's fine.
When I did the modeling, it was a modeling 101. The first class had nothing to do with it. I had to speak for like 50 minutes to people who did not give a fuck about what I was saying. And they're like, I was like, who wants to model? Like, who has these dreams? Nobody raises their hand.
Oh my god.
Who wants to do some runway? No. They all did it. But then the second class, we love this shit. Like, oh, I want to do this. Oh, that's great. And then just like, they all love the runway. It was so much fun, so much energy. So I'm like, that was very humbling.
No, that's
very
great.
Humbling.
And it makes you think about the idea that you don't know when that next yes is going to be. Because if you continue to try and you get no, you're never going to know when the yes is going to be if you don't keep trying.
Yeah.
So, like, in that case, if you were just like, oof, I don't want to do this shit again. Yeah. I don't want the next class to be like, this is garbage, even though I know it wasn't. But then you get the opposite reaction. That gives you confidence in a way to be like, okay, people could dislike this and like this, but I've done both. You know?
It's not for everybody.
True.
Yeah. And that's really what that taught me. I'm like, even if they are little kids, I mean, they're 7th graders, so they're what, like 13?
No, what?
11?
Maybe 11. I feel like you're 14 when you go into high school.
I was like
that
15,
is so
16.
young. Because you graduate at 18.
Yeah.
Being a 9th grader, I thought I was the shit. But I was 14 years old.
That.
I thought it was 14? Like, hey.
There's no way, because I was like at least 15.
Maybe 15.
Yeah. And you're,
I don't know.
A couple months older, but I think
maybe
7th
15?
grade, you're at least like 12, 13, maybe 11, maybe 14.
But you start driving when you're
16.
16, which is
15 with a permit. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's insane.
I don't know.
These children behind the wheels of cars.
But then little 15-year-old me was like whipping around the New Mexico streets. I was like,
my dad started teaching me how to drive when I was like 12.
Really?
Yeah, because I lived in like a very small town, so
yeah.
I'd go drive on the country roads.
That's kind of fun.
He would try to take me into the towns. I'm like, I'm not risking this. I'm getting my license at 16.
Oh my god, you were 12 behind the wheel? Could you even press the little paddles? Ugh. That's
I had the seat all the way up, but I still have to have the seat like.
Yeah, true. I'm like,
sometimes
I'd
be like cruising back here.
Yeah. Oh gosh. No, I'd be reclining sometimes when I drive around, but I haven't drove in so long.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of scared to go back to that. I'm scared to go back to Arizona, honestly.
Let's talk about that. Why? What are those fears?
I'm scared to go back to Arizona because I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
And I want to continue trying new things and going new places, meeting new people. And while also doing that, sticking to the things I want to achieve, which is creating a clothing brand this year, continuing my jewelry business, doing modeling, working in. I'm really passionate about business.
Yeah.
Like, I love business.
You're so good at it.
Oh, stop
You are. These are all from her jewelry business.
Hey, Starace Co. StarraceCo.com.
No, I completely understand that. I feel like a part of the reason where I'm like, I don't want to go back. Like, let's just stay a little longer is coming from that space. But also coming from the space where I'm like, I don't want this to end. Like, this is my first time out of the country. Like, this shit is beautiful out here. Yeah. The food is so good.
It's so good. Pasta every night.
Every night. We're having pasta tonight.
And we're having it tonight. And wine.
And wine and bread. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the life. Rinse and repeat, baby.
Yeah. But I feel like you can definitely keep that perspective, because I'm sure if you go back to Arizona with that perspective of, oh, I want to try new things, I want to challenge myself, like, it's going to show you that.
Yeah, I agree. And I think being here more than anything has showed me that the world is so big. When I was in Arizona, I was getting comfortable with the idea of the limitations that were around Arizona. In the Arizona community, who was at the top of the totem pole? Yeah. Oh, I want to get there. That's the highest level. No, I'm going to exit from that whole thing, go to a different country where the opportunity is way bigger.
Yeah.
And I think back to Arizona and I'm like, dang, that's like a small speck on this giant world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the opportunities are endless. And I feel as though when I was in Arizona, I had limiting beliefs on what I was capable of and what I wanted to do with my life. And coming out here, I wasn't just like a bunch of the other maybe students that were studying abroad that were living their same lives that they lived in their hometown and brought it to a different country. They didn't experience any like out of their comfort zone new things because they were hanging out with the same people, still speaking English, not caring about learning Italian, going to the same one restaurant, you know. Like that's fun and that's comfortable and that's a great experience to have with your closest friends.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do everything differently. I want to learn Italian. I want to go to new spots. I want to travel any chance I get, meet new people, talk to people on the street, attempt to have conversations in Italian when Lord knows I should not be having these conversations. I don't even really, I can't fluently conversate, but I'm going to try.
Yeah.
Because...
And they appreciate that.
Why not?
For sure.
Exactly. So being out here has definitely shown me that my world in Arizona that I thought was my world is not. It's so much grander than that. There's so many more things. That's why I'm scared to go back.
No, I completely understand that. Because that's one reason why I wanted to get out of there as well. Because I'm like, I am recognizing all of the limiting beliefs in this community. Like, it's a beautiful community. There is no negativity towards it whatsoever, other than the fact that a lot of people do have the idea that this is everything.
Like I did 3 months ago. You know?
And I was just like, no. No, I was like, there's so much more. Yeah. So much more. And I haven't even experienced the modeling out here yet, which I'm very, very excited because I did hear back from one Greece agency. Yeah. So we'll see where that goes. Yeah. Yeah. But no, I feel you because I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do if I go back. If that's my keyword. That's where I'm at. I'm like, I don't want to go back to the US to live.
And it's hard because I have my family there. I have some friends there. I just think that since I'm so young and since it's so easy to get on a flight and completely change the country you're in, the culture, the lifestyle, there's no point in me not doing that right now because the rest I'll figure out. If I need to continue to make more money, create new opportunity, I'm going to do that because I know I can. Yeah. And that's part of the hustle that I really fuck with, but a lot of people don't.
Great. And the right friends will follow.
Exactly.
No, that's so real, and that hustle is great. Like that's what really just turns your 20s into a beautiful and strong foundation for the rest of your life, and that's a big intention I have. And I talked about that in my modeling episode. I don't know if I mentioned this to you. I don't know if you listened to that episode, but
What are you gonna say?
When we went to Milan, I had a really big perspective shift around just the partnerships and my podcast and just all the opportunities that I currently have. And being there really opened my eyes to all the things that are really possible and all the ways that people are living out there. And what I realized is I can sit here and I can strive for the things that I don't have yet, or I can take it back a little and maximize on what I do have.
Yeah.
And
True.
figure out how to turn the brands that I'm working with and the opportunities that I have now into the brands that I want to work with.
Yeah.
Evolving that and making them come to me and not just desperately hoping that I can find them or just taking the desperation, throwing it out the door, and just knowing that they are going to come to me because I'm going to do everything that I can to maximize on what I have to align with their energy.
Yeah, like being open to receiving that.
Yeah.
And keeping aware of the idea that could come to you at any moment.
Yeah.
Because something I definitely was closed off to in the past was like being open. I was closed off to being open. Can you believe that? Because I was obsessed with the idea that I needed to be in somewhat of control and organization in my life. Being open was scary because I was like, oh shit, if my doors are open and I trust other people and I trust the world, they could throw crazy things at me and then I have to take it and then organize it myself, which is something I'm still really trying to work through because trust is a crazy thing that I struggle with.
We all do.
Yeah, but I don't know. I agree with what you're saying though. And you are killing it.
I'm sorry, but thank you.
Yeah, of course. I'll tell you that every day.
I'll tell you that every morning. That's our good morning text.
Yeah.
You're fucking killing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, is there any other last things that you want to touch on or share with the audience before we get into the questions?
Wow. I don't know. I just want to encourage the people around me to do what they know they need to do. And it's easy to listen to podcasts that motivate you in the moment. But it's difficult for you to listen to the things and actually implement it into your life. Because if you're like, oh, I want to be healthier, and someone gives you a recipe of like, okay, drink more water, go on a diet, work out, they could say all those things.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's about you wanting to do it for yourself. And like I said before, finding that purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes when I talk, I'm like, shoot, should I just be like listening and asking questions so that people could find that answer within themselves to then find their purpose? Or should I be talking? And when I talk, it's like people could be listening to me and inspired in the moment, but are they even going to think about what I'm saying tomorrow or the next day? Maybe not. And that's totally okay.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I listen to podcasts all the time. People go out of my way to find conversations, learn more about other people, but it's the things that resonate and the things I choose to implement into my own life that actually count.
Yeah.
So I guess from this podcast, the things I could maybe leave whoever is listening to this on is just discovering that path for yourself. It doesn't matter what anyone else is saying, and it doesn't matter at all what I'm saying. Or you're saying. I mean, I listen to you
it doesn't.
all the time.
It truly doesn't.
But
I agree.
But it's about digging inward and finding out the answer to those questions within yourself.
Yeah.
And finding that purpose.
I mean, that's literally the whole point of my podcast is the reason I started and a big reason that I wanted to do this is I'm like, I know that I have a unique story and it's not going to help everybody. Yeah. It is not going to impact everybody, but it could impact one person.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, I could have a community of one person. I'll still put this shit out.
Yeah.
Because that one person may even be me.
That one person might be me.
It might be
in my little headphones.
Yeah. I mean, I just listened on the train to the Amalfi. I listened to 2 episodes. Yeah. And on the way back, I listened to my last episode.
Oh, yeah.
I need this shit for myself, too. Because it's good to reflect on everything I'm saying. Because, like, I noticed from the start of my episodes, like, some of the shit I said, I don't fully agree with anymore. So, like, I be reflecting on my own shit.
Yeah.
But some people might still be at that point from that first episode.
Yeah.
And then if you keep listening, you'll get to this point. But
yeah, true.
But no, like, the whole purpose behind it is to share my story in a powerful way to impact and show you that you are capable and that anything is possible. And trying to, I always go in with the intention, like I told Sophia before we even started this, I'm like, the intention is to just leave the audience with something they can take away. And that's why I say it every episode, like, go journal on this shit. Yeah. I heavily emphasize that. So that's a big way to, one, take what we are saying and keep it in your life for tomorrow if you go journal on that. Because you can always go back and read that. You may not come back and listen to this episode, but you're going to read what you wrote and then you put it into your own thoughts. So, like, that I like that you say that. I really do.
Thanks, girl.
Because, like, it doesn't matter what I'm saying. It only matters how it impacts you.
Yeah.
And how you can hopefully take all of this passion and everything we're saying and turn that into your own story. Turn that into your own passion and your own life and your own power and your own challenges and just...
Yeah.
That's the whole purpose of this podcast.
And I think that something I learned that actually changed my life a lot was the idea that everyone was put on this world because they have a gift that they need to share. And it's unfortunate, but so many people leave this world without ever showing the world their gift.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have the confidence, because they didn't have the energy, because they got caught up in the wrong lifestyle. But at the end of the day, like, you are the one in charge of if that's going to get out or not. No one's going to help you do that. No excuse is going to make up for that at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You just have to own up to that shit and do it yourself. And it's way easier said than done. But once you do it and prove to yourself that you could do it, you're going to realize how much you can do in life and how much more success you'll bring, happiness you'll bring. Mm-hmm. Because... A side note, I'm sorry, but I think that in my past I focused on the idea that success would come from, like, hard work, and that was the thing at the top of the totem pole was success. Mm-hmm. And then I realized that I could be successful, but what's the point of being successful if I'm not happy? So I needed to find that happiness within myself and that confidence within myself to get to that success, and then on top of that, happiness. Yeah. And then once I have these different levels of my life that I've worked for, then I'm going to be just, I don't know, more free, more confident to...
Fulfilled. Yeah.
Fulfilled, to do the things I want to do. And, yeah, I don't know, anyone could do that shit.
Anybody can. Yeah.
But it's a matter of if they want to. And... at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself if you really want to. Yeah. Because if you want to go to the mirror every day and see the same person, you could keep doing that. Keep living these excuses and this lifestyle that was just handed to you, or you could change it. Because there's one thing in the world that's not going to lie to you, and that's your reflection or looking in a mirror. Yeah. Because that's actually you looking at your own subconscious or your own actual self. Other people could tell you shit all the time like we're telling you. Yeah. You know? You could have your best friend, your family tell you these things that motivate you in the moment, but it's about going to your actual self one-on-one and having a conversation on what you want in life and how you're going to get there. Yeah. Which, when I looked in that mirror, I was like, God damn, there's a lot of things that I need to do. And I did them. And I'm still doing them. And I will do them until the day that I die.
Exactly. And that's the whole beauty of the journey, is once you find that within yourself, it just never stops. Yeah. It may go down a different path than you expected, but it's not going to stop unless you choose.
Yeah. Because you're going to keep wanting more. Yeah. The more that you could realize you could do, the more you think you couldn't, but you did fit on your schedule or in your timeline, everything is abundant, you know?
Yeah.
I know you like that word.
I do. Abundance. It's all around. It's within you. You are abundant.
Yeah. And I'm grateful that you brought me on this podcast because it's fun. I love talking to you, and I love taking this time because even for me, it's a reflection for myself.
Yeah.
All these things that I'm saying, I know I still need to implement those in my own life. Not only am I trying to encourage and remind you and the people that are maybe listening, but I'm also doing the same for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I heal myself in one small part of my life, that doesn't mean I'm going to be healed forever.
Yeah.
I have to continue those habits and mindset.
I like that. Yeah, that's real. I know, that's the whole reason why I put out my last episode of 4 ways to get out of a rut, because that's the shit I was feeling. Like, I don't know if it was just me, but I could just feel the energy of, like, I could tell I was really, like, going through this shit. And I'm still, that was just last week. It was honestly like 4 or 5 days ago. So I'm not, like, out of it. I'm on a different side of it. But no, like, I be doing this shit for myself.
Yeah, true.
So it's, like, it's all a reflection. So, yeah, that's great.
You're so cute.
You're so cute.
So do I have to, like, share a question?
Yeah, she's gonna ask the audience a question.
Well, I guess more of, like, a proposal. Like,
yeah, anything you
maybe
want.
Is that the right word? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know what I'm even gonna say. But I think that if I needed to hear something today, it would be that I need to, and I'm speaking to the people that are listening and you, set up a new goal for yourself. And that goal may be a challenge that you want to achieve, maybe running a half marathon, maybe running a mile, maybe writing a book, maybe writing, like, a small article. Like, all these things could be adjusted to your own personal lifestyle. But if you could do anything, just create a goal for yourself and actually achieve it.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Your goal is anything you want it to be, but make sure that you actually achieve it. And this could be a small goal, because you got to start from somewhere.
Yeah.
But for me, one of my goals is, I mean, like, I still have so many, and I don't know. I could pick one, but I want to learn how to box.
Yeah.
And so
you're doing it.
And so the first step was signing up for a class, where I actually went to this class and it was all in Italian and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. But it turned out to be something that I was like, hell yeah, I'm coming back next class because I want to better myself. And I set this goal for myself and I could do it. Mm-hmm. So I think that it's funny that I'm just, like, talking to a microphone. But I think
used to it.
You should just set a goal for yourself. Take that wall of fear away and actually achieve it. It's as simple as that, because you're capable of anything you do and anything you set your mind to. You know what I'm saying, girl? What's your goal going to be? You have to achieve it because I will see it.
Right now I'm doing the 45 simple challenge.
Oh, nice.
Day 2.
Hell yeah. You better make it past day 3.
I
will. 75 hard.
I gotta do all 45 days.
Yeah, and you're going to.
Yeah.
Because you can. You have the time for it.
It's literally the 45 simple challenge. It's a challenge that my friend Jonah Downey started, and it's basically the 75 hard, but more realistic and not unhealthy, like you were kind of saying. And
yeah, true.
It's targeted more towards the people who don't have that routine or are trying to get back into that routine. So it's working out for 10 minutes a day, once a day, drinking half a gallon of water, meditating for 5 minutes, eating a source of protein with every meal, which I find a little difficult to do in Italy.
In Italy? Oh my god.
That's one thing where I'm like, I'm eating pasta every day. That's one thing.
I want protein in my life, but it's impossible.
But that's the 45 simple challenge. I'm on day 2. And I started it like a week ago and I made it to day 1.
Hell yeah.
But
If you can make
I
it through one
restarted
day,
it,
you
yeah.
can make it through all of them.
Yeah.
Because you already did it once.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's my current goal for myself, is getting back into that physical routine for myself.
Yeah.
Because I miss that shit.
And you will.
And I am.
Because you want to.
Yeah.
And because I'm going to remind you every single day that you are going to do that. And that's your goal.
I know you will. And that's why I love you.
That's what I'm here for, girl.
Yes. But I think we're good. I think that was I love it. It was a beautiful episode.
That was pretty cool.
It was.
Yeah.
Salute.
Salute, mamacita.
Ah.
That was a fun little thing.
We only drank maybe one glass.
Not even. We'd be just sipping.
Yeah.
Sipping and chatting.
That's okay. That's the beauty of wine. People don't drink wine to get drunk here. They drink it
drink casually.
to enjoy themselves.
Yeah.
And the people around them. But thank you, beautiful girl, for being on this episode and for sharing your thoughts and perspectives. Because I know that's going to help a lot of people. Even just listening to it, I'm like, damn, it's so inspiring. Like, you're so inspiring.
Oh, thank you.
So inspiring. So
and so are you.
Thank you.
And that's what I try to be, girl. So if it helped you, then I'm good. If it helped one person,
you always help. You always help. But thank you for listening. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. It is weird talking to a mic and a camera.
Yeah, I'm like looking in front of me. I'm like, what the fuck? Your phone is on a tripod. And I'm just like, who am I talking to right now?
The world. That's what I think about. I'm picturing the whole world behind the phone.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going to need a minute to picture that. But as of right now, I see our reflection, and I'm good. So I'm looking at you, cutie.
Oh, but I really, really hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope that you're able to take the things that you've heard and, like we were saying, reflect on it. Go journal on this shit, because it's only going to do you good.
And actually do it. Because
yeah. If not, she's going to be texting you.
No, I legit will. And also, like, anytime, well, I do when I have the time. But, like, if you tell me to journal on it, in my mind, I decide in that moment, am I actually going to do that? Maybe not. Maybe not. It's like a 50% chance.
Yeah.
So, like, it's about actually doing shit if you want to be successful and get what you want in life.
Exactly.
So go do that shit.
That's why I say it every single episode. If you hear it, people gotta hear shit at least 3 to 7 times.
True.
So if you've listened to every episode, you've heard it at least 14 times now. So, like, what's your excuse? Go journal.
No excuses in this bitch.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
That's the whole thing we talked about.
Yeah, for real.
But actually go journal on it. Go reflect on it if you truly want a better life. If you truly want to live the way you want to live. If you want to become the person that you want to become. And share your gift with the world. Share your purpose with the world. And just be fucking magical.
Be magical as fuck, for real.
Yeah.
Because why not?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what else to say. Be magical as fuck.
Yeah, what else you got to do?
Yeah. Anyways, peace. Ciao, Bella.
Ciao.